Chaim Chaim. It's okay, it's all good. Not so good. So really, I shouldn't be here tonight because the event was not my initiative of learning Rambam. What happened is, like Rabbi Yuzevich said, the Rebbe had a kavana, but then there's das tachten, there's das elyon, and sometimes the Rebbe is waiting for someone to do. We know that the Rebbe said many times that before he comes out with a pu'ula, with an initiative, with a mitzvah, he's mishayar to himself whether Hasidim will do 50% of what he expects. And if he doesn't think so, he won't do it. Where there's other things where the Rebbe said, that if the Alter Rebbe or the Tzimach Tzedek didn't do it, so who is he to start an initiative, such as Birchas Kohanim every day or Shabbos, that the Rebbe really wanted. In the Gei Limud HaRambam, the Rebbe spoke a sicha, Chov Kislev, Parshas Vayeshev, Tov Shin Daled Mem. The Rebbe spoke over there about the Indian of Hareini Mekabel and Ach Tzadikim and why it's important. You can find all of this in one of the two churas that we printed tonight, where we brought down the Sikha. And then after speaking about Hareini Mekabel and Ach Tzadikim, the Rebbe spoke about the Indian of learning Rambam. Now something very interesting happened, which nobody understands till today. One of the shluchim who was with us in Morocco in our kvutza was Rav Zalman Blumenfeld. Shneur Zalman Blumenfeld is the shliach in Lima, Peru. He's the head shliach of Peru. Before leaving to shlichus, he ordered a subscription to Vad Hanochas Atmimim, to the Yiddish Hanochas, to get it in Morocco. And obviously the Rebbe spoke Parshas Vayeshev, and about a month or so later, maybe 5 weeks later, we received the Hanocha in Morocco. And we learned it all together. We learned the Hanocha, and we understood that there's something going on over here that the Rebbe perhaps is alluding to and would want to see happen. And because the Rambam is from Morocco and the Rambam lived in Morocco, so we thought that this would be a Gevaldik idea. Since the Rebbe was speaking about Bayutas Kislev, about Chalukas Hashas, we thought it would be a great idea to do a Chalukas HaRambam. And we quickly opened up Rambam, and we counted halachas. We found there's Pegim halachas. Today everyone knows there's Pegim halachas. Today everyone knows that if you learn 3 parakim a day, you can do it in 11 months. If you do 1 parak a day, it will take you 2.5 years. But those days, not everybody was such a baki in the Rambam, and we didn't know. So we took it out and we counted, and we made a list, handwritten, how many prakim are in each halacha, so that when we go to people to ask them to take halacha, they're going to say, oh, how many prakim is it? Just like when someone takes a Masechta Mishnayos, they want to know how much they have to learn. So we made the chalukah, and obviously as the Bachrim, Shluchim, Talmidei HaShluchim, we took upon ourselves as a kvutza, besides what each Bachar took individually, we took the halachas of shlichus as a kvutza, and each one took their own separate thing. And you can see the full breakdown in the duch that we gave to the Rebbe, which is in the Shura, of every single person who took what. But before we started the chalukah, we had a farbrengen between the Bachrim, and we thought it was a great idea, so we wanted to get the Anhola involved in it. So we went to Leizer Raskin Olav Shalom, who was the Mashpia in Yeshiva and the head of Ufaratzta, and he looked at his Anocha. He had Vad Anochas Lahak. And he looked in his Anocha, and in his Anocha there's no mention about the Rambam for some reason, which I don't understand till today. I don't know. Maybe after this event we'll start getting feedback. People will start talking about it. But in Vad Anochas Lahak there was no mention of Rambam. There's Hareini Mekabel and Ach Tzadikim. There's nothing about the Rambam. But Leizer Raskin said, you know what? Saglai Chazak, why not? The Rambam was from Morocco. The Rebbe speaks about the Rambam. It's right after this Kislev. You want to do it? Adarabah, let's go for it. So we spoke to my uncle, Reb Shlomo Matzav Olav Shalom, who was the head shliach, in charge of the yeshiva. And at that point he was also our Rosh Yeshiva, because Rabbi Belanov, Yitzchak Belanov was only with us the first month. And we started the campaign. We asked Rabbi Edelman, Rabbi Shalom Edelman, Olav Shalom, who was the head of the Koilo. So all the Klei Kodesh, all of the people who learned, all the Bnei Torah in the city, basically learned by the Koilo of Rabbi Edelman. So this way we were able to get everyone involved, because otherwise between 8 Bochrim we weren't going to finish the whole Rambam. And we sent out a letter to everyone, and we got them to sign, and we told them that we're going to make a big Siyum on Yud Aleph Nisan of that year, which is the birthday of the Rebbe, as a matana to the Rebbe, and besmichas to the Yom Haledes of the Rambam, which is Yud Aleph Nisan 3 days later. And we're going to do this. For whatever reason, till today we're not sure what happened, whether we just got too busy, or we didn't have the means to organize it. The Siyum in Morocco never happened that year. It only happened the following year, after our Kvutza had already left Shlichus, and there was a third Kvutza in Morocco. Then Rabbi Leveraskin Shalom took the Bochrim and many Bnei Torah, and they went to Fez, to the home of the Rambam in Fez, Morocco, and they did the Siyum over there. But in our year it didn't happen. But what's interesting is on Yud Aleph Nisan, by the Farbrengen, the Rebbe made a Hadrin on the Rambam, which means that the Rebbe knew that this is something that we said we're going to do, and the Rebbe was being mishtatif with us. And it's interesting that in the Farbrengen of Achron Shel Pesach, where the Rebbe finally spoke about the Rambam, the Rebbe said that he always wanted to initiate the Rambam, but the Rambam cannot be compared to Shas. Shas, you don't have to learn Al Pi Seder. Shas doesn't go l'shitase. You can learn any Gemara, it's not l'shitase. But the Rambam is kol ha-Torah kula. The Rambam is l'shitase. And if you don't learn Rambam from the beginning till the end, if you learn something in middle and you don't know the Rambam Shita, you're going to have questions. Why does the Rambam pask in a certain way? Therefore, you have to learn the whole thing. So the Rebbe said he always wanted to do it until a kvutza of Yidden in North Africa. The Rebbe didn't even refer to us as Talmidei HaShluchim. The Rebbe considered us part of the Yidden of North Africa, because that's where we were. That was our Makam HaShlichus. And the Rebbe said until a kvutza of Yidden in North Africa took an initiative upon themselves, and they made a Chlukas Rambam, and Kavanosim, Ritzui, and all the Lashenis that the Rebbe gave. But then the Rebbe said, and it was Matziyah, that the Rambam should be learned Al Pi Seder, and three parakim a day, or 1 parak a day, and right after Kosher Bracha, because this was Achron Shel Pesach, followed by Kosher Bracha. After Kosher Bracha, I went up to Maskiris. I ran home first. I had the list with the breakdown of the parakim and how many halachas there are and how many parakim there were. And I said, I went to Maskiris and I told them that if you learn 3 parakim a day, depending on how you divide up the Hakdama to Sefer Rambam and Sefer HaMitzvahs, it will take a little under a year. So they told me that the Rebbe already had instructed Nachman and Simon Jacobson and the group from VAD that they should give out a Meir Shir. So I should go up to them right now and share the information with them, and this will save time for them to prepare the Meir Shir. And Kach Ahava, and a few days later, after Pesach, a few days after Pesach, came out the Meir Shir of 3 parakim a day and 1 parak a day. So I'm not going to be Meirich. You can read more about this in the chur that we gave out. But it's like Rabbi Yuzevich said, and this is the reason why we decided to make a large collective siyum. Obviously, everyone learns Rambam today, not only Lubavitch, Kol Ha'olam Kulei, everyone is learning Rambam today, Litvish yeshivas and other Chassidish yeshivas, everyone learns Rambam. It became a Dover HaMeskabel by Am Yisrael. But what happens is, we only make a big siyum, like we had on 770, outside of 770, Gimel Tammuz, we make a big siyum once a year. But the Rebbe says that we actually should make a big siyum with a Sudas Mitzvah, Berei Per V'Hoder, and all of the Lashonos that you can see in the Chura that we printed also, different Piskamim from the Rebbe, that the Rebbe wants this to be all the time. And we thought to ourselves that Kinai Nahara, we have many, many Shiurim that we know about. Amongst 15 shuls in Crown Heights, but we have 85, 86 shuls in Crown Heights today. And I'm sure there's shuls and shiurim that we don't know about. And I'm sure there's chavrusas that we don't know about. So we decided that we're going to make a collective shiur to strengthen and be mechazek the takana of Limud HaRambam by all of us, that we should understand how important this was to the Rebbe, this is to the Rebbe, and how much the Rebbe wants us not just to read it like Ashrei, and not just to read it through while we're going to sleep. I know many people who do 3 prakim a day, they have a seder that they do 1 parak by Shacharis, 1 parak by Mincha, 1 parak by Ma'ariv. This way it doesn't fall on them like a big yoch. How are they going to learn it? And they fall asleep in the middle of learning it. But we'll hear from the Magidei Shurim later on. We'll hear from Rav Olasov. We'll hear from all the other people. I want to thank everyone for coming. And if there's anything that we can do together with Rabbi Rotman from the Irgun Torah to help and be mechazik shiurim in the Rambam or Likutei Sichos, which is the next thing that we want to do. We're going into the winter months now. If any shul needs help to have somebody give a shiur Friday night for a few minutes in the Likutei Sichos, that everyone should be learning the Rebbe's Torah. This is, the Rebbe told Rabbi Lu, and it's written in Ayem Yom, that if a chassid wants to be miskasher with the Rebbe, it's by learning the Rebbe's Torah. The Likutei Sichos is the Rebbe's Torah. Learning Rambam is the Rebbe's takana. Chitas is something that started beforehand. Anything that we can do to give chizuk to learning the things that were Yoker Shebiyoker by the Rebbe, we are here to support, and we want to wish everyone a Yashakaya and Chazak v'Chazak and Hashem Psuris Tevis. It should be Mola Haaretz Deis Hashem Kamayim and Mechasim, and we should be Zech to the Gula Shleima. Thank you very much.